I recently realized so much time was spent getting my garden up and running that I didn't notice we were moving into the season for backyard gatherings. And my backyard needed some work. I had already created 2 large planters to add more definition to one of my seating areas, but somehow it still seemed a little bland. So I got the idea to move the remaining planter sitting off to the side looking like Cinderella from one location to another. And then it was off to my little garage workshop to see what I could come up with. As usual, I turned to using fence pickets as my cheap wood alternative. I wanted to simply place the pot inside the planter box so I didn't have to spend time building a frame. My first step was cutting the 24-inch sides on the table saw, and then on to the bandsaw to cut them down to 2-inch wide strips for the 4 sides. That done, I then lined them up to map out the arrangement I wanted. Looks good. I simply needed to glue the pieces in place and nail them to let the glue dry. One down, 3 more to go. Moving along, I could now cut the inside slats that would make up the body of the planter. You'll notice these boards have purple paint on them. That's because I got them out of the 70% off bin at Home Depot. Pretty sweet at 50 cents a piece, despite some nicks and scrapes. And now to make the sides of the planter. Once I added glue to the side braces, it was just a matter of putting in the slats that would make each side. One side made, I needed to repeat the process to create the second side. Two sides done and halfway home. I could now move on to putting the two sides parallel to each other and adding the third and fourth side slats. And now I had created my box. Then came putting in supports that would allow me to drop the pot inside the planter. Nothing fancy. I decided to keep the top simple and just put on straight sides without getting into angles to match the top sides. It was then sand the top and round out the sharp edges to complete the planter and move it to the backyard. But it still looked a little bland, so I added a small flower patch of herbs like basil and thyme with marigolds that would add a little color to the back. And as long as I was at it, I planted pole beans in the hanging planters on the fence that would use gravity to create a cascade of beans. All I have to do is sting the small planter and the job is done. Let the games begin. What do you think? See you next time.